put them out for people to look at. Number 4, Clinton County Department of Social Services. They sent the worksite agreement for us to sign. It's allowing people to learn different types of work, to try to put them back to work, that kind of thing. And Fred usually takes them on in the summer, or whenever usually, if they have anyone. So I need a resolution to sign this agreement. It's the same as it has been in the past. Worksite agreement.
I'll make a motion that we accept it.
I'll second it.
The motion needs to include the authorization of the supervisor to sign on behalf of the town.
And vote please. Jeannie?
Yes.
Herb?
Yes.
Ronnie?
Yes.
Joey?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes. New York State Division of Homeland Security. Anytime you take money from, or get money back from FEMA, you have to put in this audit reminder, audit report. I didn't know that in the past, so the guy got ahold of me, find out how come we didn't do it, and so I never got any paperwork on it. So I got it in because we did get FEMA money, and also got a form ready to go because we got more FEMA money this year. So I've got one form ready to go right behind that one. November 15th, we got $4,871.70 from Division of Homeland Security. The State Office of Emergency Management, which I applied for. I went to a meeting and applied for it and got that back, which we put toward Fred's road there. Harvey Road, yep. Clinton County Youth Bureau has a request here. It says if your town or village has been audited by the state of New York during 2013, please send us a copy of the report so we can attach it to your annual report. We have been, we don't have a report back. Any information back is forthcoming. It should be here at any time, and then it'll be sent on to where it has to go. Number 7, the Wildlife Center. It's a place in Tupper Lake. It gets people back to nature and learning about nature and that kind of thing. It's a nice place. They're looking for donations from people. Town can't donate, but people can. And it says, I hope you'll consider a gift of annual fund for 2013, your support. And that of other friends of the Wild Center comprise 60% of the budget each year. So if anybody wants to send a donation to them, that's a worthy cause.
They just received a $200,000 grant to do something with their maple program up there, so I'm not sure.
Was that right?
There's money flowing into the Wild Center through grants.
Our powerhouse, we had to spend money on the powerhouse because it's was part of our grant. It's a historical grant. It was part of Noble's agreement when they moved in here to do so much historical stuff. And so we had to put some money into the powerhouse. I have pictures here of some of the before pictures of the roof, and I don't know what you call those around there.
Parapet wall.
What do you call it? Yeah, parapet wall, yeah, that's what they are. And they did, this is just the before ones. I've got as soon as we figure out how to get them out there.
Couldn't burn the CD and I download them. We just got it in the mail today and I didn't have time.
The before and after ones, they're all done to work. Murnane is the one that took it on. They hired an outfit out of Governor that knew how to handle asbestos. Because they knew there was a lot of asbestos there and they didn't know what they were gonna do with it. And these guys encapsulated it. They didn't have to charge us that exorbitant amount of money to deal with asbestos. Murnane said it went better than he thought, so he said out of his original bid that he put in, we'll get some money back. And if we can put that with the money that we had left that they didn't use, maybe we can get a chimney done, or maybe the siding, or whatever, maybe, you know, depends on how much each one costs. One of the chimneys is real bad, ready to fall down, and it'd be nice if they could save that one and cap off the other one, maybe. And that stucco wall, maybe they can do something with that. One or the other maybe would be nice, as long as they got the money to do it. And we have till May to get that done, so we're all set on that. Highway Department, you got anything, Fred, going on?
Oh, not really, we're just waiting for our box, we're just still down to 3 trucks, so waiting right there, we'll be there.
Hanging by a thread of that one other truck there that you tried to work on. They got another box that's really bad too, so we're trying to hold our breath and get through till we get the other one back. And it should be anytime, right?
About another week and a half.
Yeah. We got everything, he got everything all reconditioned on the truck that was broke, waiting for the new box, so it should be like a new truck almost.
They did a nice job on the frame and all.
Yeah,
All
very
the
nice.
tonight. It's brand new.
Take those standards out, we start, 03, I think was the first one, so you start to look at them, they're almost like experimental since 03.
Yeah.
You're gonna get probably 8-10 years out of one of them tight boxes, I think.
Maybe in the summertime, would be a good time to take them off, scrub them, and do the frames and stuff on those trucks and save them a little bit. You know, whenever we've got breaking the action. We didn't have any lately with the darn floods and stuff, they've been right out straight. The CHIPS money that we applied for is going to be here, or is going to be mailed out on December 18th, so it's on its way. The budget, we had a couple of little things we had to do to it there. We had, when we went back over it, the lighting district had a mistake in it. It said we had revenue of 1,500, we don't have a revenue of 1,500. At one point we did, and it got left in there. So, we had to fix that and get it out of there. So that's one of the changes on your budget sheet. And then, we had, oh, the fire district wasn't listed properly. It was, we had an unexpended fund balance of minus $575,000. It didn't go in that category, so we had to fix that, put it where it belonged. So that's been fixed. And one of our insurances, we had listed, one spot, we had listed it twice in unallocated insurance. And what happened was it both gets paid to the same place. So we listed it in the same place, and then we also listed it in another, so we had to fix that. So those are the changes in your budget. Other than that, the totals should be the same.
Are you going to vote again to adopt that budget as revised?
Well, that's what we did before, is voted to accept it with those
revisions?
revisions. Lost my place.
Basement, no?
Yeah, lost my place here. not minutes, it's by my agenda.
Oh.
Here you go.
I'm all set, I got it. We're down to the bottom anyway, so that's a good thing. Supervisor's report was the next thing on the agenda. And I need a motion on,
I'll make a motion to accept the supervisor's report. I'll second it.
And a vote, please. Jeannie?
Yes.
Herb?
Yes.
Ronnie?
Yes.
Joey?
Yes.
Larry?
yes. You also got, in your package, a Adirondack Tobacco Free Network, report. I've given those out in the past, so I gave you, those should be in your packets. Approval of the bills?
I'll second it.
And a vote, please. Joey?
Yes.
Ronnie?
Yes.
Herb?
Yes.
Jeannie?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes. And you have, the reports for, all the reconciliation of October. It's all on there, everything's in and balanced. And November isn't all in yet, but she has a pretty good handle on it. You got it.
There's no one account left, everything else is balanced and,
Great.
And the account that she has never been built on, so she's building it from scratch, and that'll be done and in, and everything is pretty, a lot easier now. She's got it all on that new system, she's trained on it, and she's been very good about asking questions when she needs to. And she's pretty much up and rolling by herself right now, so it's good.
Good.
All right, where are we here? We got that paper, it's on for the bills.
Very hard.
Our next meeting's gonna be December 31st, that's the closeout meeting. At that time, we should be able to go through any recommendation on where any money that we have left goes and what to do with it from there.
What time?
We have that at 10 or 11 o'clock.
Yeah,
Yeah, written down somewhere.
10 o'clock.
10?
10.
So you might wanna write that down, because that's a switch from our normal meetings.
All right, what date was that, Reed?
December 31st.
31st,
Oh, 30.
at 10 a.m.
Oh,
Anybody, any of the board members have anything to bring up? Anybody have something they wanna bring up?
Yeah. We had some commissioners that were approached about a discussion about the fire service and EMS service. And some of the comments made were not of a positive nature. And basically, it's tough enough as it is, as these volunteers, how their numbers have dwindled. And it's not just Altona Fire Department that is experiencing this here. We're having a tough time just keeping, or even recruiting new members. The last thing we want to be commenting about is Why even having why have a fire service, you know, when's the last time we saved a house? It gets to a point where, even I, as a former advanced EMT, dealt with that kind of scenario by a member within. And it becomes so negative that it just pushes our volunteers away. As it is, there are only 4 departments left in this county that have a volunteer system, especially with the EMS. And that will be down to 0, because those 4 remaining are also, or 3 remaining are also looking at a paid service. And that's what it's come down to, is that our department, because of our numbers, especially with EMS, we've had to go to a paid service, which is why we've had that significant jump. If you really want to look at things about the expense, and I think some of the comments that were made was because of the budget that we brought forward to the town board, adopted by the Altona Fire Commissioners. If you want to look at it in a different perspective, let's look at how much money the volunteers have saved this township over the last 15 years when we've had our volunteer ambulance service. Or even the amount of time that the fire department has saved over those years. Granted, the fire service pretty much in this county, with the exception of the city of Plattsburgh, is still a volunteer system, not the EMS. You're gonna see within the next 2 years, maybe or less, you're gonna see every district in this county having a paid service. The last thing that, you know, we want to hear and bring in a negative atmosphere to our volunteers is, you know, basically, what do you do? What are you doing? It's not good for the morale of our people. Just is not good at all.
The few that we have.
The few that we have left. As it is, we used to have a roster of 40 volunteer firemen. We went to pushing about 20 to 25 people. That's how tight these numbers get.
And we're down to 2 EMTs come January 1st because of training.
I was gonna say, the training's unbelievable what they do.
Yeah, and their training is running out, they need to be renewed the first of the year, and they don't have time because of their jobs.
I don't know.
And we have no
when they expect
ALS right now, right?
To stay involved in.
Basically, right now, there is no ALS within our squad, and there hasn't been for probably the last
And we are
5
putting a
years, 10
strain,
years.
we're putting a strain on the mutual aid system doing that too. More is coming out, you got 40-minute call times coming to Altona. Hey, when somebody's in dire need, we gotta look at that, you know?
It's difficult that, when, you know, the few volunteers that we do have left, to have to deal, you know, with the negativity that comes about, especially within individuals within our town. And, you know, if there's a problem, bring it to the fire commissioners, attend our meeting. And, you know, basically, you know, I think when I left here, I thought the last meeting, we had the budget hearing, and I thought that, you know, the description that we gave as to why, you know, probably, nobody wants to see an increase in taxes. We didn't want to see an increase in taxes. We had 3 hours, I'm sorry, almost 3.5, 4 hours of very involved discussion about this here. But it's coming down to where we just have to face reality. And this is gonna be part of Clinton County. Everybody will have a paid ambulance service. If you don't, I don't be dealing with somebody, a parent or loved ones, because you weren't able to respond to get there to take care of that. Basically, the members of the ambulance committee had every opportunity to make any comments they wanted to make before we made our final decision. Numerous meetings in the station and by email. Everybody that was on that committee had their opportunity to voice their opinions. So the last thing that, you know, we really need to be having within our community is having any negative discussion about what our volunteers are not doing. As it is, you know, it's coming down to where even the volunteer firemen are getting burned out. And their training can be almost as intense as the EMS people. And if, you know, having that negative comments made in the community, we will push our volunteers away. The last thing that I want to be seeing is having the Altona Fire Department, having to supplement those volunteers with paid personnel. We can't do it. We can't do it. We're trying to mitigate this significant jump that we've had, but it's not gonna happen in year 1, year 2, or year 3, maybe year 4. We're looking at trying to bring that back down to a reasonable amount. But with the conditions and situations we have, we don't have a choice in the matter. We've had very experienced, very seasoned individuals looking through this. And I gotta believe that it's because of the budget that was brought to the town board that these comments were made.
I think you're gonna get comments, obviously, because it is a jump. I mean, you're gonna have to weather the storm for a while to explain why to the people. I don't know where all the negativism is coming from, but, I mean, if you're pointing the finger at the town board, I haven't heard anything. I've talked to people and unless there's people being misquoted, my feeling is, I did make the comment, there's never been a house saved. I don't think it's possible to save a house in Altona or any other town, because they're old wood houses. In Morris, there was a house 2 doors down from the fire department, the guy almost burned up in it. It's an unrealistic thing to ask somebody to put out a fire.
The house down by Mountain Mart, beautiful save. Gas bags are still hanging from the stairways. Altona Fire Department saved that one.
What one was that?
The house next to Mountain Mart is the one that I can recall right off.
If I can interrupt for a moment,
Install.
the firefighters respond to not just fires.
Correct.
They respond to motor vehicle accidents and flooding, people who are trapped, or, I mean, there's a whole scenario of situations that firefighters respond to, not just
The
fires.
consequences
Well,
of,
way overworked, no question about it.
the consequences
So
of
I
not having
welcome
a,
you to,
yeah.
and your board to apply. You're more than well accepting volunteers. Let's get applications out to all of you who can help with this.
The consequences of not having a fire service, ask your insurance company what your insurance premium is gonna be.
Then you hear homeowners complain, because their insurances are gonna go through the roof.
So, but basically, that's what I wanted to bring up, and we have a letter that's ready to go out. And basically outlining what was discussed at the last meeting and even in tonight's meeting. We just have people who can't give their time anymore, who just can't give their time anymore.
And we did cut the budget for the fire department, bare bones. I mean, it's bare bones. I mean, we cut that drastically because we knew the offset of the cost of this EMS service was gonna be through the roof. And it's almost $500,000. We didn't have a choice.
I think people need that letter.
Oh, it's coming, it's done, the letter's done. and-
Because there is talk, and there's people that maybe misquoted, they may misunderstand, and I just think it's important for everyone to see it in writing. I don't personally, I don't have a problem with, I've seen the fire department in action, I know how important they are, and I do understand BMTs are burnt out. I understand that, and I know that we need it. It is going to be a hardship for people, for a lot of people, with the increase and with the fees. But I don't think we have an option.
Yeah, you're right, there is no option, we really don't have an option.
I think it's just something we have to face, but I think people need to, the residents need to have, they need to see that in a letter.
I don't think it's going to be done by finger pointing. I think what it has to do is you gotta come out and tell, in your letter, you know, what exactly happened, just like you did the other
It
night.
is,
And,
it's in the letter,
It-
and we've got a rough draft of
you know,
it.
It's coming out, you know, we were looking at the postal permits, and basically, we don't have a whole lot of option. We're looking at an EDDM, and that's how they're going out, and they'll be going out, and we're hoping that we get that situated, if not the end of this week, in the first part of next.
we have a town stamp,
We can't use that stamp,
why can't you?
because I already talked to the postal service about that. I even talked about some other way, and, when those postal stamps are given, they're given to the entity, and because we are a different entity, the only one that we can use is from another fire department.
I didn't know that. I thought she could use it for anybody in town, that's what they told me when I did it, that any organization could use it as long as they paid the postage on it. I didn't know that.
I already have an EDDM account. No, where's that?
So, basically, you know, there will be something coming out, by mass mailing within postal customers in town.
Well, I think the department is way overworked, no question about it. You don't have enough members to really be a department, you know, I mean, you got the same people working, trying to do all the work, and it does burn you out after a while. You all have families and jobs and kids and whatever,
It doesn't work on a volunteer basis.
yeah, that's a lot.
Not like it was in the old days.
I don't know what the difference is as far as the attraction. It used to seem like we had an awful pile, everybody wanted to be in the fire
Well,
department.
the training. The training is hundreds of hours now.
Is it,
It's not,
even for
it's
the
not a
fire
weekend
department, so-
anymore. It's hundreds and hundreds of hours.
So basically, that's all that I had to say about the fire EMS service.
Trying to make sure everybody understood that, what was going on. We're not doing it on a whim. I mean, we had no choice.
I'm sure of that.
No, that's understandable.
The only thing that I wanted to bring up was, in the fall, garage, about where it's going to be built where the existing highway garage is. I would ask the board to seriously reconsider that.
What did it say? What did you say?
I'm also confident that there will be enough money left to begin construction of the new town hall. I'm sorry, and the new town hall will be built with the existing highway garages, allowed to be deeper. Okay, so actually, you're not saying the highway garage will be built there, it's a
No.
town hall will be built there.
Recently, we've come into, and I'm glad you brought that up, we were gonna put it up off the Starks Road because that's the only property that we owned. Ellen has agreed to donate some property down here, which is a lot nicer spot for it, and we've decided we'll go down here past the Miller guy on the right side. The town garage itself and salt shed. I put in for a salt shed grant, if I can get that grant with the money we have to start building the town garage, maybe we can do both down there if we can get, if we're lucky enough to get the grants, you know. The sand pile is one of those things that worries you. You're sick every day of the week, but you don't dare to move it. We've been lucky enough not to have anything happen there. So if we move it, I wanna have it undercover and in a salt shed. Hopefully that.
And that's always a liability right there itself.
So, that's, and she's been very generous to give us like 5 acres of land to put it on, so.
Has the town board looked at providing something for the kids for winter sports, specifically basketball? And, or even a place that can be not just used for basketball, but, because obviously, at one point, the kids were playing hockey on the school pond. Then there were some volunteers that started building something up in the Feinberg Park. I see that that's gone now, and I know in one newsletter there was waiting for the liner to come in, the liner was here, and then I don't know if the liner was ever done with it.
They quit working on it when they found out that it was gonna be shared with kids, that the volunteers, a lot of the volunteers, didn't work on it any longer. Never got anywhere, so.
They pulled out of the process.
But, you know, definitely the town needs something for winter activity for these kids. You know, it's been graded and leveled where the material underneath probably wouldn't support it. But try and do something to flood that for the kids for skating.
I don't think, well, I thought it was a great idea at first, but after I started looking into how much maintenance there is on the skate rink, I don't think they could maintain it there. Without an access to water and stuff, they'd have an awful time trying to maintain ice there. Originally, I thought you just spray it with ice in the fall, and then when it freezes, you got ice, and when it doesn't, you don't, but it's not the way it works apparently. So there's a lot more to it than that, and I think in the future, we can get something. I'd like to try to find something like what Chair Busco has, which isn't a big thing. What they had up here, they wanted to play boom ball, and they wanted to play, you know, adult sports on it. That's why they had the big fence, and they had all that. I don't think you need all that for kids to skate on.
No, you don't need a lot. It doesn't take a lot to to make them happy. You know, I've seen, like, yes, what Chair Buster has. I've also seen something down in Willsboro. And it's pavement that's down, and it's flooded. The fire department used to try flooding what was started as a rink up near where the basketball courts are, which is now a parking lot. Wasn't gonna work because it was all gravel.
Yeah.
But, you know, definitely if we wanna be pulling in, you know, people into this area with families, you know, we've gotta be able to provide them with some kind of recreational activity for the kids. Yes, we have the softball, the baseball, the soccer. You know, we used to have a basketball program when we had Altona Central.
The school runs a basketball program.
Yeah, but,
Fourth grade.
Kids aren't gonna make it up to school, their parents can't get there.
yeah, it's a lot for the kids here to get up there. You know, maybe the numbers are helping them, the numbers from here are helping them support the program. But I think that especially with the numbers that there was this past fall, from what I've seen in the soccer, I think you can have a strong showing of kids for a basketball program. And probably Gillis could give up his bingo hall, because it is already lined out for a basketball court, but, having something here, you know, an area that can be doubled up for, you know, it's I'm not saying to do it, but it's a year-round process through soccer. You can even have some early start with softball and baseball, maybe pitching, or, you know, coordinating that with these programs. It's a shell. We really need it as a shell. And whether or not the highway department does move, you know, I think you need to have probably a new floor, but something poured in there. I realize it's concrete block, it's aged, it's at its life expectancy, but it's a shell. What you need is a shell that can provide year-round activities for these kids.
It's an idea.
No, very good point.
Yeah. Anyone else have anything? Okay. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Anybody wants to talk? Gotta leave 8 chairs out for Eli.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Thanks for coming.
All right.